yes, hi, and welcome to the Dark Knight Conspiracies, episode 69. Karma is real. What goes around comes around, people. So, without any ado, let's get into tomorrow's news today. As I'm sure everybody knows, everybody's talking about our favorite actor, Mr. Alec Baldwin. Biggest nut job in the world. Isn't it funny? The one guy that can't stand guns, wanted gun control, put out a Twitter tweet in 2017 wondering what it was like to accidentally kill somebody. Well, you know, you got your wish there, Mr. Alec. Making fun of the Orange Man all these years, and that's funny because the stories are flying all over the place. Oh, why was I given a hot gun? Well, my first question is, why is that even a term on a Hollywood set? A hot gun. My understanding is a lot of safety measures were put in place when Brandon Lee was killed in The Crow, and even though they fired blanks, what was reported at the time was that the force that came out of the barrel hit his heart square in the chest. Now, I watched a Newsmax interview on Friday, and they had a Hollywood prop expert along with a well-known detective, and they were stumped as to how this could happen because of all the safety measures in place. The Hollywood prop guy basically said, the barrels are blocked. Even if you put a live round in there, it couldn't come out. At best, the chamber would just explode. So here's my conspiracy theory on this, and we're going to go down a little rabbit hole here. First, this gets back to what I said about airplane crashes and getting a manifest to see who was in there. So right away you look at the victim, and this is where you start doing your digging. Okay, well, what was she connected to? Who's her husband? Yada yada yada. Oh, look at him. Mr. Anger Management Issues, guy that beat up a guy over a parking spot. This is a very calm guy that should be using guns on the sets. By the way, most of the movies he stars in, he uses guns. And it's funny, if you were such a gun control nut, why you would even be involved in movies. But again, washed up actor, trying to get back into the game. This is the armorer who's supposed to certify, make sure that the gun's safe. And ultimately, I'm hearing it's actually Alec Baldwin's responsibility to make sure. I mean, why would you take somebody's word for it? Seriously, folks. If somebody handed me a gun and say, oh, don't worry, it's not loaded, you think I'm going to take that person's word for it? No. I'm going to, depending on the gun, I'm going to slide the chamber, make sure there's not a live round in there. I'm going to discharge the clip. I'm going to open the barrel. Kind of get the picture here? And this is a 24-year-old. And of course, the assistant director, he's claiming, hey, the gun was safe when I gave it to him. Well, let's focus around who her husband is, and this is where we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Why, her husband is none other than somebody who worked for Latham and Watkins. Now, I did go on their site, because you can search. They have like 3,000 attorneys on their site. You can search. He's not active. Now, whether or not they scrubbed the site or he quit some time ago, I can't vet at this time, but this was posted on social media. Why is this law firm important? Well, when Mr. Durham issued his subpoena for Mr. Sussman, the law firm of Latham and Watkins, he retained. Folks, there are no coincidences. I keep saying this. There are no coincidences in this. You know, and there were other rumors going around that, oh, he was having an affair with her and had to get rid, whatever. Here's my point. Something happened here, and somebody is going to be held responsible. Because at some point, a loaded gun was put into play. Now, the question is, who had knowledge? Was this a blackmail incident that, you know, they used Alec Baldwin? Or was he set up? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. We'll let the judicial system handle this. I'm not expecting much out of Hollywood, that's for sure. But obviously, something don't jive here, and somebody's going to have to. Lucy, splain. You got some splaining to do, Lucy. Just saying. Now this one really set me off, folks. This son of a bitch. I'm telling you, I used to have a top 10 list, and it used to move up and down of who I really wanted to see justice come to. This one, he just elevated to the top. I mean, I don't know how I don't know. A lot of people don't like animals and everything. I have 2 dogs, and they are my kids. They are my best friends. When I see this shit, I want this son of a bitch, eye for an eye here. This son of a bitch took out the vocal cords of puppies and then placed their heads in cages and had flesh-eating flies eat them. This is scientific study. I want to see this man. I don't want his vocal cords removed, but boy, I would like to see this guy put. And look how cruel. And where is PETA? Where is PETA? They're out there on everything else. I haven't seen anything on PETA about this. This son of a bitch, keep his vocal cords in there, but you know what? Instead of these flies, I want fire ants. I can't stay there. That is the one subject that pisses me off the most. Believe it or not, I'm probably get some comments on that. But boy, you want to piss me off? I can't stand animal torture. Period. So this one caught my eye. Biden delays release of JFK assassination files to protect against identical harm. My understanding was these files were not to be released until everybody involved in the supposed conspiracy, because this event started the whole word conspiracy. that there was nobody left alive during the time to be harmed. Now, my understanding was Trump declassified all this. So if Trump declassified all this, I'm sorry, Orange Man, I got to get into the habit of that. How is Biden able to delay the release? He has it all, right? Remember, folks? We have it all. We caught them. What are we, 7 months into Arizona? Folks, we're a week away from last year's election. And they still haven't resolved anything. Are you getting the picture here? Kick the can down the road. They are gaming us left and right, and until we start demanding some action, I don't know where this is going. You could tell I'm very agitated today. Normally I'm not. My voice isn't this level, but I'm getting tired of this shit. You know, getting back to the Baldwin at the whole Red October thing. You know, okay, he starred in the movie. And double meanings. Everybody's out there, oh, there's double meanings. But I'll admit, this has been quite the month for news stories. And how fast they are coming. I mean, the cycle, something doesn't even stay alive outside of this Baldwin situation. Something doesn't even stay alive for a day, much less two, before something else replaces it, because they don't want you to focus. Again, this is all the magician stuff. Watch the left hand while the right hand's doing something else. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then this came out. Oh, Biden's building. By the way, folks, we're paying for a fence to be put around his beach house. You kind of get the feeling something's coming. I mean, I do feel that there is a buildup, that something is coming. I just don't know what it is. I don't have a good feeling for any of this, because quite frankly, I think these next 2 months are going to be brutal for the American people. You know, I could go into why are all these migrants, immigration, all these people coming into this country. My opinion, they could be expecting, I don't know, say an event, a high casualty event, a genocide type event. Read between the lines as to what I'm saying. And they're going to need people to fill certain roles. I mean, I've already brought up how they're crashing the economy, and you got policemen, fire workers, government officials, hospital people. Everybody's walking off their jobs. Folks, this is going to collapse this country. You're going to have no choice. Martial law is in the future here. It's just a question of when they pull the trigger. And then it's a question of who's coming in. Because I'll point this out. Out of all this shit that's going on, I stay on. I wouldn't discount that we're not watching some type of movie, because if the left is in control of everything, and with everything going on, why hasn't Sleepy Joe decommissioned Space Force? He hasn't even mentioned it. My guess is they don't work for him. Just my theory. And if that's the case, which I believe it to be, I believe that's all the Orange Man has. Because I don't know if there's anybody currently, a general currently, in a certain position still within the government that could be, part of the shadow government, the white hat stuff. I don't know. Can't vet it. But it's just like Congress. I've said this before. Why can't Congress get anything passed? They have the majority. I mean, are you getting this? We're being played here. They're playing games. Why can't they get these bills passed? My guess is there's a set date for shit to hit the fan, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know what that date is. My opinion, my conspiracy theory. I have nothing to back this stuff up. These are just my thoughts. Then we have a fire breaks out on one of these containers sitting off the Pacific coast up by, I believe, Oregon, somewhere around there. And they just start dumping containers in the ocean. Well, what would be in these containers that would self-combust or start a fire that they would have to just start dumping containers in the ocean? And by the way, what's in it? What are we polluting the ocean? We're not going to get any information. I just thought this was interesting. And then it went away for a while. It's starting to come back up now, this La Palma volcano in the Canary Islands. So here's a map. People have been speculating, and this could be the quote-unquote scare event everybody's talking about. This would be the impact. Supposedly, part of this island or volcano could break off into the ocean. They're saying it's the size of Manhattan. This would be the effect and how far it would go. And basically it would take out our whole East Coast. I don't know. Can't vet it. Some say it's natural, some say it's being induced. I don't know. But I found this article back in March talking about how the tsunami buoy system on the East Coast weren't working. Coincidence? The one thing I can't find is, has it been fixed? They're saying it would take 7 to 8 hours from the event to hit the East Coast. Well, I don't know what the time is on these buoys. I would think it'd be at least, a couple hours. If these things aren't working, they're not going to have any warning. The only warning you're going to have is when you're on that beach shore and all of a sudden you start seeing the tide and the water being sucked in. You probably got about 5 minutes after that point to get the hell out of Dodge, and that ain't going to do you any good. Crazy times. Again, I think it's going to get worse. I feel for you, Alec. I really do. But you brought it on yourself. Don't know what you're involved in. Don't care. But karma's coming to bite you in the ass, and boy, is it gonna take out a chunk. So, that's the end of the show for today. As always, stay strong, stay safe, stay vigilant, be prepared, keep your faith. Zebra 3, take us home.